Ireland and Italy produced a very entertaining game in front of a record crowd at the RDS. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Ireland started this one much the better of the two teams. They're pinning Italy into their own half, looking threatening as well, ball in hand. Parsons very lively, some very strong carries as well from the pack, and looked like they mean business in this one. And it's been a while really since I've seen an Ireland women's team be on the front foot like that. And that pressure eventually told. Ireland get awarded a penalty try with 8 minutes on the clock. They were moving the ball. It looked like they're going to score a try, but then Minuzzi, she sticks her hand out, deliberate knock on, blocks the pass from going to hand, and officials decide that try probably would have been scored. So she goes to the bin. Penalty try to Ireland, and it's 7-0. Ireland then continue to press, looking to stretch that lead. Parsons again rampaging on her wing. She had a great first half, but then Italy in the second half, it was noticeable that they just decided that she was the danger woman, and they were just going to send two people in there to tackle her every time and just shut her down. And maybe like this is a young Ireland team, and maybe with a bit more experience, they would have maybe used that to their advantage, because if there's two people on Parsons, it means that there's space elsewhere. But they weren't able to do it. But on from here, then we have a great carry from Wafer off a decent Irish scrum, and that has the Italians on the back foot. But it breaks down, doesn't really come to anything, and Italy managed to see out the yellow card period without conceding. And, a few times handling errors for Ireland meant that a couple of promising positions just didn't come to fruition. Italy then begin to grow into the game, to get some territory, and they look to move the ball as well. They win a penalty, go to touch, set up the maul. Ireland can't keep them out, and over they drive. Vicini is the score. Conversions missed, and it's 7 points to 5. Ireland then come forward again. They force the penalty. It's very kickable, but they decide to opt that they're actually going to go to the corner. But O'Brien misses touch, and that was it's unfortunate. You see it all the time, right? Team is on the up. They have that penalty to feel like this is our time. We've got the momentum. We need to go for a try. And then they don't find touch. Italy then get another chance to go to the maul again, close to the Ireland line. To get the ball out of there, out of the maul, they spread it. Some big carries dents the Irish defence before Federighi smashes her way over to score. Rigoni adds the extras, and it's 12 points to 7. Italy hit the front. Delaney then, she's dithering in possession, gets isolated. Italy opt to kick because it's fairly straightforward for them. Rigoni slots it to make it 15-7, and that was a score at the break. Into the second half then, Ireland pushing for a response. They've got several good positions in the Italian 22, but a lack of quality means that they don't come away with anything really out of those. Italy then trying to run the ball out of their own 22, and that's allowing Ireland to continue putting that pressure on them. If Italy had a better exit strategy, then Ireland probably wouldn't have had as many chances as they had, honestly. Ireland then win a penalty, and it's in the middle of the field. They lack distance on the kicks, and they decided they're just going to kick it straight into touch, like not even on an angle, just from where they are, straight line into touch, and it drops a couple of meters short. And that's one of the things that Ireland kind of lacked today was just that like some of their kicks were superb, don't get me wrong, but just that ability, someone with a big boot to be able to just ensure that they could hit touch every time, and it felt like with something like that, if they weren't sure that they were going to reach the touch, why not opt maybe for a tap or like for a scrum or something where you knew you were going to retain your possession, because even if they had a hit touch there, the Ireland lineout was under pressure all day and they weren't winning too many of their own throws, and you've got a penalty, you're kicking the touch with no territory gain at all, and then you're going for like almost a lottery on whether you're going to get the ball back or not. It didn't make sense to me, but this is it's a young team, they're going to learn, and in others same situation again, maybe they'll do something different, but Ireland then finally do fashion a decent chance. They suck into the Italian defence on the line. There's space on the outside. There's basically like they've got a 2-woman overlap out there and no defenders in front of them. The ball is put out to Parsons, who's the furthest one out, and she just drops the ball. You could say that they could have used the extra person, but it looked like, I can't remember who was inside it, but it looked like they maybe were overrunning the pass anyway. But either way, Parsons should have had gathered that ball. Someone of her quality, like, she'll be kicking herself that she didn't collect that and then just go over to score. And the try line was just there at her mercy as well, and she's too good to be making mistakes like that as well. Then Italy, again, they're trying to run it out from the back, but this time it actually works well. Dinka goes on a mazy run from her own 22. She just about gets caught by Hogan in the Irish 22, and then Italy recycle the ball and they move it from the left side of the field to the right side of the field. The ball changes hands a couple of times before Italy emerge with it 5 minutes short of the Irish line. Ireland look out on their feet at this stage, and there's just big gaps in the line. They're rushing to try and cover it or to close those, but Italy moved the ball, and then Vicini goes through a hole, and just a number of Irish defenders just fall off the tackle as she makes her way over the line to score. The conversion hits the post, but it does go over. 22 points to 7. And 15 points at that stage looked too much for the Ireland team to overhaul. Ireland then do manage a response. They win a penalty to go to the corner. Jones finds Monaghan in the line-out, set up the maul. It looks like Italy might contain them like they've done previously when Ireland have gone to the maul in the game, but to get a little bit of momentum going, and they force their way over. Jones is the scorer. O'Brien lands a great conversion from the touchline to make it 22 points to 14. Italy then put the foot down again. Araghetti bursts through the Irish defence as she picks from the ruck into 22, and she stopped just short of the line. They then recycle it and they get it out to the space out wide and go over in the corner, but then we have a TMO check and there's a forward pass in there, so it's no try, but it was let off for Ireland because they didn't handle the restart from just after scoring themselves, kind of switched off a little bit and allowed Italy an easy chance almost to score there. But Italy, they're not done. They want that bonus point and they keep coming. They cut open the Irish defence yet again, and Muzo goes over in the corner. Conversions missed on this one is 27 points to 14. Italy then have a crooked throw from a line out on their own 22. Ireland opt for the line out themselves, and they do well in terms of, because Italy were competing all day and they were making a mess of that Ireland throw, but they do well in terms of they get the ball. It's not clean, but they manage then from there to work it within 5 meters of the line. Then Linda Jugang takes her eye off the ball and she drops it. And again, she's this might be a young team, but she at the moment is one of the older heads in the team. She's got a lot of experience now, and it was just a lapse really in concentration, I think, there. Ireland then continue to press, but handling errors coupled with also just that Italy's ability to read the Irish line out and steal those balls as well means that they're not able to get over. And Italy then managed to turn the ball over. It looks like that's chance gone for Ireland. But then Corrigan intercepts from Rigoni as Italy were trying to run out to 22, and then she just has a run in to score behind the post. It's converted for 27 points to 21. So it looks like Ireland now are going to finish with a losing bonus point, which for their efforts was deserved. And we've got less than a minute left on the clock then. But Ireland, they claim the restart, they work it upfield, force a penalty, and it feels like now this is going to be a grandstand finish here. A brilliant kick to touch. It was one of those ones where it just about goes over the defender's hands as they're trying to keep it in touch. So pinpoint accurate there, and we need more of that from the Irish kickers. That one was just an absolute beaut. They then claim the ball from the line out and go through a number of phases. They're close to the line. They move the Italians from left to right, but it feels like Ireland are creating space, but they're having difficulty moving the ball quickly enough to actually exploit the space. The Italians are filling in well in defence, and then finally Ireland get isolated, they get turned over, and Italy get the ball off the field to end the game, 27 points to 21. Ireland could have nicked it there at the end, but honestly, as much of us roaring Ireland on, in that last couple of minutes, Italy did not deserve to lose this game, and part of me is glad that Ireland didn't score, which is it's kind of weird as an Ireland fan to be saying that, but it felt like Italy's efforts deserved to win. But if Ireland had gotten over, I wouldn't. If anybody asked me, should we give the win to them? Absolutely not. But I think it was a fair result in the end in terms of the efforts of the two teams. But Ireland are going to get better. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first of all, let's have a look at the stats from the game. So starting with possession, it was 56% to 44 in favour of Ireland. But in the first half, that was way skewed in Ireland's favour. So Italy did really well in that second half to kind of not necessarily make it 50-50, but they got close. They made it less one-sided. Then territory 69% to 31. Again, that was even further skewed in Ireland's in Ireland's favour in the first half. But it just shows, from an Italy perspective, they had very few entries into the Ireland 22, but almost every time they came away with a score, whereas Ireland had tons of chances and just could not take them. We're going to look actually at the some more stats. So tries scored 3 for Ireland, 4 for Italy. So that bonus point win for Italy, excellent for them. Carries 170 for Ireland, 97 for Italy. Meters carried 1,067 for Ireland and 665 for Italy. So Ireland carrying, for 50% more meters than Italy, but then meters gained 517 for Ireland to 438 for Italy. So not even a 20% extra gain by Ireland for that extra. So Ireland basically carried 300 and odd, 400 extra meters. 402 meters more than Italy, but the return was 79 extra meters gained for that. That's it just shows how incisive Italy were really compared to Ireland. But again, it's something that Ireland are, this team, as it comes together and grows, are going to get better at that. Then line break 7 for Ireland, 3 to Italy. Defenders beaten 36 to 15. So some really positive numbers for Ireland there. Total passes 251 to 113. Offloads 12 to 6. I thought Italy as well. Italy normally are a really, good offloading team, but Ireland were going for the offloads today, but Italy did really well at times as well to get in that passing channel to make sure that a lot of those offloads weren't all that effective. Handling errors then 27 to Ireland to 9 to Italy, so 3 times as many handling errors from Ireland. That's part of what kind of killed Ireland today. Turnovers conceded 17 to 9 as well. Ireland just allowing or giving too many turnovers to Italy in the game. On to kicking then. Kicks and play, just 12 for Ireland and 22 for Italy. And you can see why. There's a couple of big reasons for it. One, as I said, Ireland don't have that many options in terms of kicking, and they don't have a big boot in their team, which means it's less likely for them to just leather the ball down the field. So instead, they were looking at times, or when the Italians came up into the line and there was space there to maybe just kick over the top. Italy, by contrast, they did do a lot, tried to run a lot of ball at round 22, but they also utilized kicks as well. Kicking and then trying to get their speed merchants onto the ball as well. And I thought their kicking strategy today was better than the Irish one. And kick meters then 395 for Ireland to 474 for Italy. So Ireland not kicking all that much, but again, they got decent meters out of those kicks because they were waiting until there was nobody back there so that they could kick into space, rather than Italy again. They were using kind of shorter kicks to try and dink it over the top and stuff like that. So but it feels like if Ireland had one or two more kicking options in their team, that there was a lot of opportunities to exploit against the way Italy were playing, and maybe it would have stopped Italy coming up into the line, especially when they were looking to close down Parsons. That one of the players that was covering the backfield would come up to double team her. Onto defence then. Tackles made 144 for Ireland, 217 for Italy. Missed tackles just 15 for Ireland, which is pretty good, 36 for Italy. And then the tackle percentages, 91 for Ireland is excellent, 86 for Italy is kind of around the pass mark, I'd say. Onto discipline then. Penalties conceded, 8 for Ireland, 10 for Italy, and 1 free kick for Ireland and none for Italy. Then we had that 1 yellow card that came, around the time of the penalty try. At the time of the penalty try. Onto the breakdown then. Rooks won 141 for Ireland, 82 for Italy, but Rooks lost 6 for Ireland and 3 for Italy, and that was a big thing for Ireland, was looking after their own ball. They weren't pretty good at that in terms of noticing when Italy were going to flood the breakdown and go for the turnover. They were very slow to respond to that, or very slow to spot it as well. But on the positive, Ireland had 76% of the ball between 0 and 3 seconds. That is absolutely excellent at this level. And Italy had just 40%. So Ireland had a lot of quick ball, but Italy, at the same time, their decision making once the ball was out was much faster, and that made the difference. I think it made up a lot of that time that Ireland were getting in terms of just having that ball available. Italy straight away were able to use it. Everyone was aligned and people were coming onto the ball at pace, whereas Ireland, they get the ball out quickly, but then there had to be a step, or just waiting for someone to be in the right position, etc., before passes were given, or before the move was set up as well. So, but the fact that Ireland are getting such quick ball means that once they fix those issues, I think you're going to see a big transformation in their attack as well, because with quick ball like that, it means that the defense isn't going to be set, and if you can then move that ball, move it quickly as well, and identify where the space is in the defense that isn't ready, then I think we're going to be able to exploit things a lot better. And then the next phase after that, obviously, then is once you're starting to make those half breaks and breaks, is having the confidence in your players then to run support lines for an offload. And then that's kind of, so we're kind of 2 or 3 phases in terms of our development away from being able to exploit what is, very quick ball. But it's something that this team can do over, the rest of the tournament. Okay, so on to set pieces then. Scrums won 7-1 each, and neither lost a scrum. Lineouts then 7-1 each as well, but 3 lineouts lost each. But I think this is a telling one, is that lineout steals 0 for Ireland and 3 for Italy. So, in terms of the lineouts lost by Ireland, it was all under pressure from Italy. They were stealing it, whereas Italy, when they lost it, it was more errors on their side. So, a lot of basically the lineouts lost for both teams were due to the actions of Italy. So Ireland maybe need to tighten that up a bit. I think they're very predictable, and it's something as well, last year too, that we had one jumper in the line out, and we knew that that's where the ball was going. But I think last year our line out went better simply because we had more continuity in that area, I think, whereas this year it looks like it's something that has to be bedded in, and we need more options as well to kind of vary it so it's not so easy for the opposition to read. So those are our stats. Now let's just talk about the two teams. So Italy, they didn't start all that well, but they didn't panic, and I think their experience got them back into this game. They took their chances well and were so much more clinical than Ireland when they got into that 22. And then the difference in tempo when they had the ball was stark as well. It felt like once Italy got their hands on the ball and turned it over, that almost somebody pressed the fast forward button and the play just sped up. Ireland, by contrast, again, there was a lot of dithering, a lot of kind of slight misalignments and the adjustments and stuff that had to happen, before a move could start. Whereas Italy were just on it, and his backs and forwards as well, combining really, really well. The link play was excellent, and as soon as they saw space, they were able to move the ball there and exploit that space as well, and they did it almost to perfection today. Ireland, they look like what they are really. They're a team at the beginning of their journey. They're better than the team was last year. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes, including, on the coaching side of things as well. But there's no doubt that this team still has a long way to go. They created some really good positions, but accuracy just isn't there yet for them to, exploit those regularly. You can see, though, that, again, in every attack, there's those little adjustments. But if Ireland kind of tweak things in training, it's not a huge thing to fix that. It's about players holding their runs so that they're running onto the ball and not overrunning it, and just alignment and reading the play as well just a bit quicker. And that's something that's going to come in time as this team spends more time together. It's going to get better and better for them, and they're going to look more fluid, and it's just all stuff that can be fixed. The line out, as I said, also needs work, but there's plenty of positives from this team as well. Ireland, they may have blown a number of chances today, but these are chances that they weren't making last year, and that's the difference I feel in it, is that last year I felt like, that the Ireland team were a lot of the moves are breaking down in midfield, before we even got to the opposition 22, whereas now we're able to work it in there, and it's just getting that kind of, being able to trust your skills and be able to perform under the pressure when it's that final pass or that final catch to score. And again, that's something that's going to come to them in time, I feel like, because it's a young team, there's talent in there, and they seem to have a good coaching setup finally in there as well to bring these ladies on. I still think that Ireland's goal for this Six Nations should be to win one of those home games. So they've got Scotland and Wales left to go, and I think this performance shows that they're capable of doing that as well.